Hello, welcome once again to the White Flag Podcast. My name is Joe McNeil, and with me is the school bus driver from Sky High, Scott Andrews.
Oh yeah, I turned into a giant janitor fighting people with a mop.
True story. Today we are going to talk about Thunderworks Games. We're doing a little bit of a spotlight on a handful of their most popular games because next month, for the month of April, on each Saturday, we're going to do a Learn to Play with one of these games, and we're actually going to have a role player event where you can win a copy of the game. But yeah, so each Saturday we're going to kind of highlight one of the games and teach it to whoever wants to learn how to play it that night. So these are the games that we've selected out here. We've got Cartographers, Stone Spire Architects,
Emerald Skulls, which is their newest release, and Role Player. And just because I also love it, we're not going to be doing an event for it, but Metro Runner, if you've not played it, it's a great one.
There's a few others that are set in the what they call the ULOS universe, which is what Role Player started with. So Role Player was kind of their big first one that they put out, and it's a game about rolling up a player character like you would for D&D or Pathfinder or something like that. But you're basically, the whole game is like making a character in that sense. And so they kind of built this lore and this world around it. So instead of calling it like the Role Player universe, they call it the world of ULOS. And so a lot of the games they've made, like Stone Spire Architects, for example, is one that is made. It's one that the ones that are made in that, they have a little World of ULOS logo in here. They all feel the same way as far as like the art and the theme go, but they all play very differently. So first, we'll talk about Cartographers, which has become quickly my new favorite flip and write. I used to really like Welcome To, but I've been playing a lot more of this, and I love it. So if you're not familiar with what a flip and write is, you have a communal set of cards that you are flipping over, and then everyone at the table is using that information to draw on their own sheet. So in this particular case, you are mapping out kind of new areas of the world by flipping these over, and you can score points depending on which Tetris-y shapes you draw, mixed with kind of the layout and how you combine different things. There's also 4 seasons in the game, and each of those seasons represent a different win condition that gives you more points for that season. So as you go through a full year, you're filling out a score pad. And the beautiful thing about flip and writes, like Welcome To or like Cartographers, is you can play one player, you can play 99 players. If you have enough sheets to cover it and a way for everyone to see what the cards are, you can play a large amount of people. So Cartographers, like I said, I love that. I have the fancy box here, the collector's edition, which came with colored pencils and a bunch of other things, but they've made 2 base sets. They have the primary Cartographers, and then they also have Heroes, Cartographers Heroes. They're both the same thing. They're slightly different as far as like the maps and stuff go, but they are both core sets, if you will. And then they have 6 different map packs at the moment that you could buy and get new territories that have new features. Maybe there's caves, maybe there's lava, maybe there's different things that you would go there. So Cartographers is one of the first ones that we're definitely going to be doing next month in April when we do these Learn to Plays.
Yeah, we'll jump over here. This is Role Player. This was one of their first big hits. So it is basically turning the process of making a new like D&D style character into a game. It's really fun. It's got great components. You've got these nice little inlaid boards. You pick like your class, and then you're rolling in their stats, and it's gamified. So you're like drafting the dice to try and get like the best stats in the right color in the right area. This is the big box that has the 3rd expansion, Fiends and Familiars. There is also a monster expansion, so once you roll your character up, at the end they have to fight the big bad monster. Fiends and Familiars gives you access to a board extension that's a familiar, and then it gives you new monsters to fight as part of it. Super fun game, very easy to pick up and learn, and it's always fun to play because you get to check out your character when you're done. We will be doing an event where you can actually win the base game for this. Format wise, we'll figure that out as time gets close, but we will also be doing that one coming up here in April.
And the big box, the challenges, is that what it's called, that is set in this, where you can kind of co-op and do the thing?
So there is Role Player Adventures.
Oh, that's what it is.
And in Role Player Adventures, you basically make your character and then you go through dungeons. It's a dungeon crawler. It's got some really cool, a different system. It's got like a bunch of different maps that you kind of go through. I just picked it up myself. I've not delved super deep into it. But again, it looks amazing and I love the universe, so I had to pick that one up for myself.
Yeah, and I love the box quality and what they do with this. If you can kind of show that off a little bit.
Yeah.
How.
So again, you buy this box and this comes with this box, which is storage for everything that they make. And it comes with the third expansion. It's the Role Player Big Box. I currently only have the base game and the third expansion in this with some promos. I will be picking up the second expansion, and like they have metal coins and stuff that you can get for it. But it's been around for a while, but it's a very good, very fun game.
I just love that it's in the shape of a tome, and how it does that.
They do some really cool collections, like his cartographer's box, this box. This box is actually 2 different games in one box. So they do some really cool stuff like that.
Yeah. And they, when we ordered a bunch from Gamma a few weeks back, they sent us a ton of promos. We went ahead and got some of the collector box stuff so that we could kind of show that off, add that to our library so that people can enjoy and play those. But yeah, I think Thunderworks has great design, great aesthetics. They tend to kind of go the extra mile when it comes to just like box layout, box art. You got embossing, it looks pretty.
Yeah, I got to show this one. This is the new Emerald Skulls and Goblin Vault. So these are 2 quick and easy like bluffing games, but game trays, play mats. I got the upgraded metal coins, the gears, if you call them. Just very well organized, very nice. It's got that UV spot treatment on the box. And again, we have the individual versions of these 2 games out there. That's actually what the front of their boxes look like. But if you like betting, gambling, bluffing type games, this is a great box.
Also picking your nose.
Yeah. This is called the Swindler's Chest. So Emerald Skulls, I'll just go ahead and jump into that one. This is the board. I have the big playmat here. But in this game, it is a push your luck dice rolling game. So you are trying to fill in the skull, 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, without busting, basically not having a place to put a die. But so everybody else isn't bored, they're betting on how you're going to do. There are some base betting cards. There's also some crazy advanced betting cards that you can put out. But for instance, if I'm rolling, I can pay to roll extra dice. I get a ton of dice in my hand. They're like, oh, you're definitely going to bust. And they can make money even, if you're doing poorly or if you're doing good. Super fun dice checking game. Who doesn't like it? Push your luck dice games have been a staple in hobby board gaming for the longest time, and there's a reason for that. Everybody loves them. Rolling dice, pushing your luck, it's fun. But this actually gives everybody else something to do while you're doing it, which is a very fun, very quick game. The base plays up to 6 players. There is a 7-8 player expansion that we can get a hold of. All of this stuff we can order direct from them. So if you want one of these fancier versions, talk to us. We can get it for you. We can get you the metal coins, the playmats, all that stuff. We have a direct account with them. And we will be doing an event for Emerald Skulls and Learn to Play. It is super fun, and you will probably want it once you start playing.
Yeah. very, very great price point. I believe it's like $24.99 for a box full of good stuff. So the last one we'll talk about as far as the events go, we'll also talk about Metro Runner here in just a minute. But Stonespire Architects is another one in that world. They've actually made a plush version of this bull, which we have at the shop, and you can look at it and fall in love with it, just like I have. But Stonespire Architects, basically you are a student that is crafting dungeons. You're trying to make a dungeon to trap heroes and kill heroes off to the highest bidder. Basically, you're wanting to make a really terrible dungeon to try and do that. So this is a bit of drafting and a little bit of paying and money management, if you will, because you'll have dungeon tiles that you're laying out and you're forming a 4x4 grid, and you will score points based on the layout. If there's cohesiveness, if there's paths that lead from the front to the back and things like that. So you have to be careful with what you're picking up. And in those different dungeon tiles, you have traps, you have monsters, and sometimes the payouts or the extra bonuses, the money that you'll get from it, depend on how you've used those. If there's a one of the if I could talk, one of the things for the so if you have basically a round where gnolls are going to score a lot more points, you're going to want to kind of draft those, get them set in the right places. There's paths in and out of each of the caves, but you can also draft and pay for things like passages or extra traps, tokens that you could put on the rooms to make them more dangerous, to score more points. And yeah, it's a pretty fun game. And this one plays up to 1 to 5 players. But yeah, that's another event that we're going to be doing next month.
And we don't have an event lined up for it, but Metro Runner is definitely worth talking about. This was a big departure for them. So they jumped from like fantasy settings, which is what they've classically done, into Metro Runner, which is set in like a cyberpunk type universe. So this game, it's basically, if you've heard the term rondel, or like if you took Takedo and put it in a circle, you're moving around a board. Where you land is going to give you different actions. Also, you have a choice. You can either take the action on the individual space you landed on, or you can take the action of the city area that you landed in. It has a really cool thing in the middle. It's got this little like grid. That's one of those like plumbing games where you've got to get the water flow from this corner to this corner. It does that with tiles. It's another little interactive element of the game. It's got some set collection in there, some different cards that you're getting that kind of help you engine build and score points. Very, very fun, very fantastic game. Again, it's one of those that you can learn really quick, but it's going to keep you coming back and coming back. So it's a really fun game. It's one of those that is super easy to learn the core mechanics of the game, but it's going to give you strategy every time you play. It plays 1 to 5 players, 30 to 90 minutes. Super fun. You can get these really cool metal versions of the center tiles, which I have, and we can get for you if you would like them. But Metro Runner, it is a newer game from them, but it is also a fabulous game.
So even though we're not having an event per se for Metro Runner, if you do want to try that out, we've got a copy of it here in the demo library. We can get that to the table and show you how that's done if you come in on a Saturday night for Board Game and Pizza. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so this is Thunderworks Games. This is a good, like I said, offering of what they have, some of their best stuff that we're going to be showcasing next month. And we're going to plan to do this every month throughout the summer, again, with a partnership with the Mooresville Library. So we're going to have that hopefully cross-promoted and everything so that people can come in and learn these fun games and find their new favorite game.
Yeah, so it should be a good time. Anytime we find a publisher with just a nice catalog like this, and this one is really cool because, all of these that we're going to be doing in April are all in the same universe. Mm-hmm. It kind of ties it all up together. But moving forward through the whole summer, we're going to be doing learn to plays, different board gaming events. There might be some puzzle events coming up. We got a lot of stuff planned, and we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah. But thanks again for joining us. Come check this out in the month of April. Every Saturday, we do the pizza and board games from 5 to 10. So come out and learn to play and possibly even win a copy of Roll Player. But we'll see you at the table.